Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you so much for taking some time for us this afternoon. Really excited to meet you and share more of the MGT story. We'll give everybody else another couple minutes to get signed in. And, while we get started, it's getting nice. I live in Richmond, Virginia, and out here it's starting to get nice. And that's got me thinking about outdoors. And so just curious for the folks on the call, who is a mountain person versus who's a beach person? When you get a chance to get outside, maybe take a vacation, do you prefer the mountains or the beaches? Oh, and Allie's joining us. Allie, welcome. Super happy to have you here.
Hi, thank you. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. I'm very excited to uh, get to spend this time with you all.
Looks like we got a couple beach people on.
I didn't know if you'd introduced me, but I didn't. Sorry, I was.
No, no, we haven't done introductions yet.
Oh, okay.
So still, we got our Gold Star students joining us already, but still giving the rest of the group another minute or two to get signed up. So all along the way as we do this, please feel welcome to ask any questions in the chat function. Should be right around the bottom middle of your screen, little text box that says chat right underneath. And you can use that as we go. We'll pause a few times here. There are some natural pauses in the process to answer any of those questions that come in. And then we'll wrap up with a Q&A as well. So let's go ahead. Looks like we're right at the top of the hour. So let's start with intros and then we'll talk MGT. We'll run through a demo of the platform so you can really see the magic in action. And then, as mentioned, we'll wrap up with the Q&A. So, Allie, why don't you get us kicked off with the intros?
Sure. My name's Allie Essian. I'm the head of our partnership success team. I work closely with Dan, who is over does all of our appointments, onboarding. Just really excited to be able to support you in the ways that you needed to be supported. And help you navigate like a highly modern tech platform and give you the human touch experience. We are very big on relationships, so we want to make sure you're supported in all the ways that you need to be.
And I'm Dan Coakley. I'm a partner activation lead here at MGT. So many of you may have already heard from me or at least received a couple automated emails. Again, really excited to be meeting with you. I will say this is one of my favorite 20 to 30-minute blocks of the entire week. This is where we get to connect directly with the users and the agents who are the most engaged, most interested in working together and learning about MGT. We're really thrilled to have you here and to be building the world's best insurance company with you. So let me go ahead now and I'll share my screen and we'll get the party started. So we are doing something pretty big here at MGT, introducing to you and to the world the era of Neo Insurance. Now, I can already hear some of you over there asking, what the heck does that even mean? To understand what Neo Insurance is, you can kind of think of us in the context of the wider industry. You've got your insurance carriers, generally a lot of paper-based workflows, but they've been doing great things. I mean, there's so much value the insurance industry brings to the world. I don't have to explain it to this group. There are companies that have been helping protect people's businesses and livelihoods, helping make sure a bad day doesn't turn into a bad life for 400 years now. But as they've grown, as they've evolved, top of mind for them has not always been making things fast and easy. One word we use a lot here, delightful. Over the last, maybe a couple decades, you've had insurtechs joining the market. They tend to be MGAs, fronting companies, wholesalers, MGUs. There's a lot of different arrangements for them. But essentially, they will put a nice layer of technology on top of that kind of legacy pen and paper based experience. But, I think the challenge for a lot of those companies is because they are not actually underwriting and standing behind the risk themselves, they're sort of held to what other companies' goals are. Can't really evolve with the agent, the end user, the end insured in mind. That's really where MGT stands out and is different. We are the insurance carrier. We're rated A minus by AM Best. We stand behind the risk, underwritten through our platform. And because we control the entire process from developing the rates and the rules and the underwriting appetites to developing the technology that we use to, I mean, even paying out and adjusting claims, we can really deliver a great experience to you and to the businesses you're insuring all throughout the value chain. So a couple quick facts about MGT. As mentioned, we are rated A minus by AM Best, so we have excellent financial strength. We are writing all of our policies on 100% ISO forms. Those are the most legally tested forms on the market. So I like to start off with those 2 points. I know we're not a household name just yet. We don't have the TV commercials. We'd rather spend that money on low rates, right? Um, but you can feel comfortable and confident as you write business with us. We'll be here to stand behind the policy if there ever is a claim, and it will play out the way you'd expect it to because the ISO language is what's used on all the designations and licensing tests anytime they reference policy language. What I think you will really enjoy, though, is that we've built a 100% online digital experience with no accords, no supplementals. And really, the whole thing is designed to eliminate those 3 week long back and forth email chains that I'm sure we've all had to engage in, to ultimately just give you the power over your business so you're not held up waiting on someone else's timeline to review an application or respond to an email. You've got the power in your hands to get a fully bindable quote in 3 minutes or less over 80% of the time. We do have a wide footprint. We're admitted today in 44 states plus Washington, D.C., and growing. So stay tuned because we will be expanding in the near future and we'll have some exciting news to share there. So a couple quick facts here, and I know you can all see this on your screen, so I'm not going to go through point by point. But the one that I really like to highlight is that in the fourth quarter last year, which is just the last full quarter that we can go back and measure, we had 100% uptime on our platform. And that means any time an agent or an insured or CSR, anybody needed to go to the platform, check policy docs, run a quote, bind a policy, make a payment, make a midterm adjustment. The platform was there. It was up. It was ready to accept those changes. And we weren't throwing up additional roadblocks with technology that just decided to take a day off. And I think that we'll have to update this in another few weeks, but all we'll have to update is that it was Q1 2026. So far, I think we're hitting 100% uptime this quarter too. Now, I know already most of you are saying to yourselves, wow, this sounds amazing. What can I write with MGT? And the answer is we focus on small businesses. To us, that means up to 3 million in revenue for most risks, up to 5 million revenue for professional and medical offices. We are a great fit for those offices. We also do a lot of retail stores, wholesalers and distributors. Artists and contractors is a really exciting expansion. Restaurants has been a great performer for us, so definitely think about us on restaurants. We'll write your barber shops, beauty parlors, nail salons, bakeries, grocery stores, convenience stores. Those can all be a very easy fit with MGT. We are writing, again, up to 3 million revenue for most risks and 5 million for professional and medical offices, up to 100 employees, up to 35,000 square feet, up to 2 million total insured value per location with up to 4 locations per policy. So you get a good amount of flexibility there. And we are a good fit for new ventures, for businesses with no prior insurance, coverage lapses, claims history can be eligible. So definitely, I would encourage you to send us those really great, perfect risks that land on your desk. But if it doesn't quite fit in that box, I would still encourage you to give us a shot, and you'll get an instant answer back on that submission when you run it through the platform. Now, I get caught all the time. People will ask me what we write. I say we just do bops. The answer is I should really like slap myself on the wrist when I do that because we do a lot more than just the bop. We've got some great coverage enhancements and features built in. And again, I'm not going to read off this whole list, but one that I would really highlight is the professional liability and hired non-owned auto. Professional liability is available for barbershops, beauty parlors, nail salons, and photographers. It's not available for our professional and medical office classes where they might be better served with a standalone professional liability policy. But I've found it's a really impactful coverage to be able to offer, especially for nail salons. Higher non-owned auto is available for most risks as well. It's available for restaurants, which I'll call out. Now, to be eligible for the hired non-owned auto, they can't be doing any self-delivery. Delivery through third-party apps, totally acceptable though. And hired non-owned auto, also available for contractors.
Yeah, the professional liability are people that are placing our partners that are placing the nail salons are loving that feature. Barbershops loving that we have that optional coverage. So that's been a hit across the nation.
Mhm. And then, it's luckily it's only 4 states where we have to explain what monopolistic workers' comp means. But in those 4 states, we can do stopgap coverage too, which can be another very impactful one. We do have some different optional coverages and sublimits available to you. And the really great part about these optional coverages and sublimits is that as you're working on a quote in our platform, it's only going to show you bindable options. So you can always stand behind the quotes that come out the other side. We do have some great coverage available specifically for restaurants. They've got access to higher spoilage and contamination limits. They've got access to damage to customers' autos coverage if they're doing any valet operations. That can be a very impactful coverage to offer. Stock protection, that higher non-owned auto we discussed. So a lot of great stuff for restaurants. Excuse me. And then contractors as well. Now, the way we handle them is a little different from a lot of carriers I've worked with previously, where we actually are writing contractors on a BOP form. And because it's on that BOP, there's some automatic property coverage that comes along with it. So there's coverage available on one policy with one premium for their miscellaneous tools and equipment, coming soon as scheduled equipment. And then also contractors installation coverage to cover things that they might leave on a job site. So now let me go switch from this slide deck to our platform so you can see it all in action. And before I jump into the actual quoting system, I always like to start our journey here at mgtinsurance.com. There's a great resource that can save you a ton of time without even having to log in. All you have to do is click on the BOP Appetite. You'll see a map of states where we're live. So if you're working on an opportunity and want to do a very high level view of will MGT be a good fit, you can check the map and then keep scrolling down and you'll find Amy, our AI appetite assistant. Amy is a really good resource for you. The beauty of the way we're built is that it's available 24/7. And I've actually logged in the morning and seen that people were quoting and binding with us at 3 at night. And, I love it. But if you try and call me with questions at 3 in the morning, I am probably not going to pick up. You'll be leaving me a voicemail. Amy, on the other hand, is available for you 24/7. She's just waiting for your calls and your questions, and she can answer all kinds of questions. Let's say, can you write a sandwich shop in Detroit? Just picking a city at random. Even though sandwich shop is not necessarily like the official name of a class of business, and even though I didn't specify the state, Amy's smart enough to parse through some of that information and give you good guidance right away. She can actually remember a conversation and answer follow-up questions in context. So really helpful tool to have access to. And again, you don't even have to log in to get here. One other thing that I will show you is in the bottom right-hand corner of the page. You can click that little chat box icon, and you can actually communicate back and forth with our customer support team. This is a great resource. We try to be available to you however you like to work. So we have the chat support. We also have a phone number that does get answered. We have emails that do get responded to. So we try to really strongly support the agents that are working with us. Now, let's get into the fun part. We'll click sign in to get started, and then that will take us into the quoting system. So you've got some different options here. You can start a quote, which is pretty self-explanatory. You can access the user management page to invite other users at your agency. And you can click into the appetite guide to find some more appetite information. On the sidebar, you've got home, policies, quotes, and user management. So all pretty self-explanatory there. And let's go ahead and start a new quote. And this is where things can get a little bit scary for me. I like to do something that is honestly kind of crazy for people who do a lot of demos like this and just completely go off script. I think that the best way to see this technology in action is with a business that you're familiar with. And so I'm going to invite everybody now. If you have a favorite restaurant, favorite maybe barber shop or nail salon, maybe a real estate agent, lawyer, accountant who send you leads sometimes, please feel welcome to shout those out in the chat. And we can run a quote based off that information. All I need is a name. And so again, just another quick reminder too, while you're looking for the chat button, that should be right towards the bottom middle of your screen. And please feel welcome to use that along the way and ask any questions that you have too.
Okay, Drew. Hi, Drew. Good to see you on the call.
Yeah,
Pat, it looks like Paddle Trap
Battle Trap.
in North
I
Dakota.
love this one. All right. So look, we found that right away, just typing it in. The search in this box is actually really, really strong. Just quick example, our office is based in a area of Denver called the Denver Tech Center, abbreviated as DTC. And I've looked up businesses in that area just by typing in their name and then DTC. So very cool little system here. We'll click that. We could enter in a DBA if there was one. Every once in a while, it won't find that business, which can particularly happen for very, very new or very, very, very small businesses. And I mean small as in zero web presence. If they have a presence, we will find them. Um, you can use the enter business info manually button to enter in information if the system can't find it for you. But I think we're right on target with this one. So let's go ahead and click continue. And we're going to start looking up business information behind the scenes. This is kind of the like where the magic is with MGT. When we run a submission and you enter in the name of that business, we're actually working with dozens of different data vendors to find over 3,900 different data points on that business, comb through those, surface important points to our underwriting team. We've got a process in place that will like find concerning features of a risk and flag it. We've got another process in place that reviews those and can even go back and approve them. So there's a lot going on behind the scenes to make this so easy. So you can see here, looks like we were able to identify that as a restaurant. And in my experience, most of the time, this is right on. But every once in a while, especially if you have a situation where there's like kind of a like umbrella LLC that owns sub businesses, like it might identify it as an office. And so if it ever misses the mark here, you can just click on this box and you can start typing in classes of business to find one that will best describe the risk, select it, and then move in with that. But I think we actually nailed it. Casual or fine dining restaurant. We'll select business owner policy and then click continue. Just very quick note here. I am in our demo system, so it's got some things in there that you might not see on your screen, like that commercial auto coverage. I know
Yeah.
sometimes people see that, they get really excited, and I don't want to mislead anybody. You won't see that on your screen, or at least not immediately.
Not immediately.
In the near future, who knows?
Yeah,
I
you
mean,
might
it
have
is
had
in
a
our demo
teaser.
system.
You might have been privy to some things that are coming. We
So
we
just a
do
little extra bonus.
we do while we're waiting. We do have a very exciting 2026 here at MGT. So really stay tuned, stay engaged with us because we do have some really nice plans for some upcoming product releases and enhancements on our Bob.
Yes, there's going to be a lot of good news to share. So make sure you stay subscribed to our emails. And I would also suggest too following us on LinkedIn. If you've got that open in another screen right now, definitely just add MGT and then you'll always be up to date with what we're doing. So we've started to get the quote set up. You can see here it's even pre-populating a couple of these questions for us. We'll always ask up front, have there been any claims? And do they need to add building coverage? We'll say this is right on and then click continue. And now in the next page, you can see it's actually able to find some of these details and start pre-filling the application for us. In this case, it's identified 0% alcohol sales. That may be accurate, may not, but let's say we know that risk and we know they do sell some alcohol, but it's not a huge percent of what they've got. I kind of figured that, Drew. You seem like someone who likes to hang out at fun places. So let's go ahead and say 15 just for the sake of the quote. You can always update the information this fast and easy. So I like to say trust but verify. So then we'll click continue.
You're right on that, Dan.
And so you can see here it was able to identify the year it was established, entity type, number of employees. But, again, let's just say for the sake of the quote, maybe we know this business, we know it's not actually 45. Maybe the real number is 10. To update it is as simple as putting in that accurate information and then clicking continue. So we have all these algorithms set up to make your life easier, but you're never locked in to what the tech finds. Um, it's identified they may have some special events. A little pro tip here, if that ever happens to you and they don't have special events, just enter 0 in and then click continue, and that'll remove the special events. If they do have those, though, we can do the special events and host liquor liability on that one policy. So a lot of times it'll find the gross sales as well. This case didn't pop up, but let's go ahead and just enter in 750,000 and click continue. And so it's going to do some more digging and find some more data on that business right now. You'll see in this page and then the next page, it's going to do a little searching. I am using our demo system, and so it's kind of running on our like second string or third string servers. When you're using this on your screen, it's going to be even faster than what you're seeing here. Um, but this is the page that we'll use to set up additional insureds. There's one, you might see at most two eligibility questions on this page. And so it's pretty quick to run through. Let's just say they are not open after 11, and then we can add any additional insureds here. To do that, just select the type of additional insured, enter in their information, couple eligibility questions to confirm that we can attach it, and then click continue. And if you get too excited, click that button one too many times. Just click the little trash can icon to remove it from the quote. So we'll click continue here. And this is actually, I think, a really game-changing feature. I know there's a ton of information that comes in when we are quoting property on a risk. You've got to find the construction type, the square footage, and a lot of times even applicants don't know that information. No problem. with our system, it's actually able to find a lot of that for you. One of the, I think, coolest things that it does is it's actually able to find that location, identify its footprint in Google Maps, trace it out, and then calculate the square footage based on what it found there. So that's just a game changer. Previous life, I spent some time at an underwriter's desk, and I would do a lot of that myself. Always happy to do what I can to help out someone. But to just have it done automatically frees you up to do much more impactful work. So you can see here, found the square footage, identified frame as the construction type, can even identify whether it's equipped with automatic sprinklers or not. And then it's going to come preset with 100,000 BPP. For a restaurant, let's go ahead and kick that up, maybe 125, and then we'll click continue. In this page, you can click the edit icon to go back and edit any of that additional insured or property information. You can click add item to add any new locations. And then we'll click continue to just jump into the next page. One last question. Do we want to opt out of TRIA coverage? We'll keep that on and click continue. And that's all it took. Now we're going to start loading up that quote. So this can take another few seconds to get everything set up, but we should get an instant indication, well, an instant quote back on that. So you can see the premium all set for us. We've got the effective date. Now, just quick tip here, the way our system works is it automatically quotes out with the furthest out effective date that we'd be able to honor. And so I always suggest just going in first thing, updating this so that that's right. And that way you don't forget it. And then we have to do a cancel, rewrite, song and dance after the fact. This page has a lot of really helpful information if you just need to quickly answer a couple of questions or review. And then you can scroll down to see all the different sublimits and deductibles that are available. And I know everybody on this call has probably seen pages that look just like this a million times. So I'm not going to spend too much time here. The one thing I will highlight though is, you can include all these different options. And as you do, it's going to update that premium for us in the upper right-hand corner. So this really lets you and the applicant have an informed conversation about, what their risks are, what the premium associated with covering that risk would be. So let's go ahead and add the higher non-owned auto. Let's add that stopgap. And then, let's go up here and add some equipment breakdown. And so you're going to see the premium updates for us along the way. So once we've got all the changes in, we're happy with everything, we can click update quote. And that's going to lock those changes in. We can always still go back and edit them. But when we download the quote and get that PDF quote letter, then that's going to have all those changes that we just made reflected. So from here, another really helpful thing you can do, if you ever need to go back in and make changes, just click edit quote in the upper right-hand corner. Then you'll go back through that flow so you can make any updates you need to make. And once we've got everything dialed in, it's just the way we like it. They can't wait to bind the coverage. We'll click continue to bind, confirm that effective date. If you do reset that date, it's going to recalculate it out just to make sure the rates are correct. There can be some fluctuation there. So that's why I always suggest doing it up front. That way you'll know. And then we'll click confirm and continue. And we can enter in the applicant's contact information here. What will happen after we do that is they'll actually get an email with a link to make payment and finalize the policy. So let's go ahead. I'll enter in some contact information this way. And then check the box, click confirm and send to insured. And then that's going to take us into the next page, which also has some really cool features available to you. So the great thing on this page that is a lot of people's favorite function of our whole process is you can keep track of what's happening to that payment link as we go through the process. So this might save you a little bit of back and forth with the applicant. Once you've sent that link out, you'll get a notification here when they open that link and start the process. And then once everything's been completed, box number 3 checks off. So I actually already have that email in my inbox. It's really fast. If you're ever working with somebody who doesn't receive it for one reason or another, or maybe they just need a little extra assistance along the way, you can click copy share link in the upper right-hand corner to copy that same exact payment link that's going to go out. And
which is which is also the workaround if should you need to take the financial information yourself.
Mhm. Exactly. So you can have the applicant do this, you can help them with it. First thing we'll do is select the payment frequency and terms. Great little feature here is if you do select our installment options, you can click view payment schedule and you can see exactly what each installment will be and when it's due. We try and keep things easy. I know there are some companies out there with like a different down payment than the installment. I've heard all kinds of crazy setups for like when they're due. For us, it's easy. If it's quarterly, it's due once a quarter for 1/4 of the premium. If it's monthly, guess what? It's due once a month for 1/12 of the premium. So let's go ahead and select annual pay just because I like that. And then we'll go into the e-signature page. So I do suggest having the applicant actually be the one to e-sign these documents, they can use the same share link to do that. All you have to do is give it the official squiggle, give it your initials, makes everybody really happy that it's so easy. And then consent to e-signing. You can click start signing to go through line by line, review everything. I'm going to keep it fast for you and just click sign all and knock out all those signatures in one click of a button. What's happening now is it's actually getting all those documents signed, and then we'll receive an email to let us know that happened. The applicant also will receive an email with a copy of all the signed documents so they can save those for their records. And then all the documents will be available in the platform too, so you can go back and reference those if you need to. The next step is my favorite part. This is where we put in payment information. Now, I will highlight to you all because I don't want you to get caught unawares. There are transaction fees and they can vary based on the method of payment, the payment frequency. So just something to keep in mind, but it is very transparent about what that is. And, we'll click into ACH. That's much easier. And so I always recommend that when you can. And then to finalize it, I'll just enter in some account information here. Isn't that easy? And then click complete transaction. We've generated an invoice number. Everybody's going to get emails to let us know this transaction was completed. The policyholder will receive an email with all their documents in it. And then if we go back and look at this page, you'll see these check boxes now are updating as we've gone through the process. And so from here, that's all it took. I think it always takes a little bit longer with me narrating along the way. Luckily for you all, that feature is not built into the platform, so it'll be even faster when you're doing this on your own.
Yeah, let's answer any questions.
Yep, feel free to use that chat box. Looks like we got one question already. Do we get the receipt as well? Yes, you will receive an email to let you know that that transaction was completed. And then feel welcome to keep those questions coming in.
Yes.
Got
Yeah.
a few recent wins to share with you too. I think these will just highlight the kinds of accounts that we can really help you out with the best. We did an electronics retailer. This was actually in the Houston area in Texas, which can be a pretty tough area to get insurance in. We replaced a non-renewal with a bound admitted BOP in 9 minutes. No theft exclusions or sublimits. They had great coverage. They were super happy with it. We did a convenience store in South Carolina, 1 mil, 2 mil GL, 1 mil, 2 mil liquor liability, 75,000 in BPP coverage, came out to about 3,500 in premium. And they found that quote was significantly less expensive than the incumbent policy. They completed it in 6 minutes. We did a seafood restaurant in Georgia. I like to share this one because it kind of goes to the other end of the spectrum. We did 1 mil, 2 mil GL, 1 mil, 2 mil liquor liability, about $1 million in property coverage altogether. It came out to just under 15,000 in premium annually. And they also really went in and tailored all those sublimits and optional coverages and, kind of started out with that ISO default BOP, but really built it into something bespoke for that applicant. And then last, but certainly maybe the most important slide in this whole presentation, I'll leave this up for a couple minutes in case anyone wants to screenshot it or copy down some of this contact information. You have a whole team here at MGT that's here to support you. And I'm super happy to be part of that team, but you've got a lot of people that you can get in touch with if you need anything. I will say you can kind of think of me as your MGT fixer. If you're ever not sure who to reach out to, this guy right here. Let me know you saw me in the webinar, and I'll make sure to give you great service.
Uh, Also, we welcome feedback. So, any feedback you have about the system or product, if we're missing anywhere in your specific market, we really welcome that and want to iterate on things that are problems for you guys as well. Please don't be afraid to send over feedback to our support team, Dan, myself. I'll put my email in the chat as well.
Yes. And if you want to email Allie and tell her how amazing I've been to work with, please feel welcome to do that anytime. Um, and that's such a good point too. I mean, we know that we're not going to build the world's best insurance company on our own. It's really going to come through the experience and the feedback of folks like yourselves who are out there on the streets working with the business owners directly, who are going to help us build the tools that help you protect those businesses.
Any other questions before we wrap? Okay. Oh, age of buildings.
Oh,
This is a good one.
yes, that's one of my favorite
Angel?
questions to get.
Yes.
So we actually do not have a maximum age of construction on buildings. We will accept, buildings of any age as long as they've been well maintained and updated. All of our policies are written with special form replacement cost coverage for buildings. So we are looking for nicer, well-maintained ones. But, if the original structure was built in the 1850s and they've had gut rehabs and it's been cared for in the meantime, that could be a great fit with us.
Thank you, Drew. Thank you, Veronica. Thank you, Angel. Okay.
Yes, we really
Well,
appreciate y'all.
yeah, we do. We're really looking forward to working with all of you closely. Thank you for your time.
So the one question that didn't get, which I'm kind of surprised because it comes up a lot, people always ask me, what does MGT stand for? This afternoon, I think it stood for Mighty Good Time. I know I've had one. I hope you have too. Really appreciate you all taking some time to join us today. And hey, if you enjoyed the system and enjoyed attending, run some quotes. Let me know I did a good job.
You do. You do a good job every day. Thank you, guys. Have a wonderful day and rest of your week. We'll see you
Thank
soon.
you, everyone. Take care.
Thank you.
Have a great one.
Bye-bye.